There are 10 billion connected devices active around the world. Internet penetration is at an all-time high, yet the cost of sensors and web services is at an all-time low. And so as designers, as technologists, and as business people, we couldn't be more excited than ever about the potential of the Internet of Things, as we've come to call it. But the challenge isn't so much about if you can connect something to cloud, but why? Why are you creating this connected experience? And in particular, why does it create value for your customer? Why does that connected feature enhance the overall experience? And why does that connected experience improve your business model to the extent that you're focusing on one? Well, we have a great panel here tonight and a variety of folks represented from diverse industries. Just curious from your perspectives, what are some of the opportunities or challenges when it comes to designing for this space that we're calling Internet of Things or connected?
Maybe what we're building is a completely new way for new generations to even consider what is a smart or dumb object, and break relationships very, very quickly if the service layer hasn't been designed properly, the data isn't handled properly. All of these things suddenly affect the physical world and mean that you're far more likely to sort of break up with your favorite pillow because there's something there that's been introduced when actually it was a perfectly good object and you probably would have kept it for years and years. There's experiences there that are going to affect our consumer habits and our consumer experiences that I think we haven't really fully realized because everything is so early.
Just this topic of privacy. And I've heard a lot of different perspectives, but very curious to hear your perspectives on how you think about privacy as it relates to this space and how is it evolving.
You know, I do look back a little bit to the mid-90s when there was a whole discussion about whether credit cards would ever be used online because people were so worried about the potentials there. And we look back on that conversation now as sort of being ridiculous, even while we've taken all of the consequences. So it's definitely something that's shifting, and figuring out exactly where the concerns are and how those are negotiated, I think, is tough. And in the end, nobody wants to sit there with a bunch of checkboxes and sliders saying, I want to share this, I don't want to share this, I want to share this.
Just about a year ago, we were designing the first kind of in-store use app that we worked on in the team. And what was so interesting was we were all really proud of the work we did, but when we took it in to do the testing in the store with customers was amazing feedback. People absolutely loved it. But they said, why doesn't it tell me what's on offer right now for me? Why doesn't this, you know who I am, why isn't it going to help me right now in the store? And it was just complete shock within the business that they've got all this data from Clubcard, but they're so scared to actually use it the other way around to sort of open that out to customers and help them do something that was more useful for the customer than we could have imagined.
This room kind of represents the opportunity in a lot of ways, in the sense that there's large companies here tonight, there's startups here tonight, there's design agencies here tonight. And I guess my question to John would be, you know, why is it for this particular category of product experience are large companies so actively trying to engage startups and small companies and agencies? One could argue, you know, especially for a company as large as Ford, with the history that Ford has in R&D and technology development and of course design, that we could do it inside our own four walls if we wanted to.
What we're trying to think about now is whether there's an organizational construct, a process that allows us to operate at the clock speed of a startup, and at the same time use language that corporate management understand. And how do you manage ideas? How do you manage the innovation process through that? Right. How do you take ideas in, you incubate the ideas, process them, change them into a language that big management can understand, and then feed it up at the right time? And that level of engagement is an extremely complicated process. We have to engage where the innovation happens, and we have to engage with startups.
2015, Apple puts out their watch in March, and it's going to be the year of the wearables. Fact or fiction, Richard?
Fact that Apple will sell a lot of watches. Fiction that there's any purpose in them yet.
Fair enough.
question as well. It's still too early. I think the ecosystem around the wearables is way too early at the moment. It needs to spend a lot of time. People need to spend a lot of time really looking for the proper use cases beyond just tracking steps and health. There's potential, but it's not there yet.
Half, I think. I think what they've done that's quite clever is the NFC piece of the watch. And I think, if anything, they've got possibly a go at killing credit cards and transport cards. But the rest, I agree. The health bit is whatever, but the payment bit, I'm really interested in.
All right. Well, we've definitely covered a lot of topics. This is a very big category of discussion. Let's thank the panelists for their time tonight. Alex, Richard, John, and Richard.